Trash, 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 trash.
Hello. Welcome to All That Trash, a podcast about all that trash and all our trash opinions on them. I'm Kuba, and I'm joined by Sarah. Hey.
Hello, hey. You right,
How's
Kuba?
it going? Yeah, we had some recording issues before. We were getting stuck in, but I'll ask you how you are again, and I'll pretend that I haven't already heard a little bit.
Yes. No, I'm very good. I'm a bit tired, so I apologise if I yawn. I don't know why. It's a Sunday evening in January, so
It is a Sunday.
we're all a little bit like, just a wee bit tired. But I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, I
Just
think February's
saying,
the real start of the year, to be honest.
yeah, exactly. January can be the false start, the pre-start. Although, sorry to get onto like world news. I'm fine. I'm an avid TikTok user, and I don't know if you've seen that. Obviously the Americans were kicked off. They're back. Could be they're back.
Yeah, I know. I'm really confused because, like, it's still. I don't know how they're gonna. And
Yeah.
obviously, there's the other. What's it called again? Reds.
Oh
Red
God.
one. It's not red one, but
Yeah.
red note.
The Chinese version.
Red note. Is that what it's called?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Where everyone's
That's the
enjoying
English
learning the new
version of the
songs
name.
and
Yeah, I downloaded it and then I did exactly what I did when TikTok first became so popular that I felt I had to have it, which was open it, download it, get overwhelmed, shut it, uninstall it.
I mean, when I was like, oh, all the Americans are going, I had like conflicting feelings. It was like, this is probably my opportunity to get off this app because Kuba, my screen time is so bad now, and also like with TikTok, it really is like, this makes me sound so sad, but it's like a friend. It's like it's quite a big presence in my life. Like, it's so bad to say that, but like I get so many memes on it. I send memes on it. I enjoy spending time on it. There's certain people that I like watch all the time. It's a bit like how YouTube used to be. Like, when
Yeah.
YouTube was like in the like 2000s to 2010s, like YouTube was a big deal. And I think TikTok kind of replaced it. And so, yeah, so with the Americans leaving, I was like, do you know what? This is my chance to get my life back and my brain back.
There's been a massive split of all the social media things, and I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do.
No, also there's a lot being said that positive about Substack. So like obviously Substack is like posts and more like essays and like longer form. And I think it is a positive thing because the whole thing about TikTok is so like quickie and snappy and like, oh God, everyone's attention spans have been completely impacted by the fact that they can only watch like 3 seconds. We're all in. So
yeah, it's actually
like,
mad. I think we need I don't know, maybe the shake-up is not helpful for the reasons that it was put forward. Like, obviously this is not actually going to address any sort of privacy concerns or whatever bullshit reason the US government gave, but like I think it's probably, I don't know, this decentralization of like communication on the internet is an interesting time to be alive, basically.
yeah,
We'll see
it
what
is.
happens. Yeah,
Interesting and potentially dangerous.
But probably very dangerous, especially in terms of like potential to like curtail free speech and like help let people learn things about like Palestine, for example. But anyway, we're not getting into that.
No, we're not. But I will say, I'll just to round that off. I think one big audience affected will be reality stars and reality TV, because so many shows gain and build popularity through a lot of discourse on TikTok and that like really quick fire, like people making reaction videos, like people
and like changing minds about people as well, who've maybe had a shit season on a show are actually fantastic on TikTok. Like, yeah.
They all end up going, like, all the traitors all have TikTok accounts. Dan's been doing little jigs, have you seen?
Oh my God,
on TikTok. Like Amani and Mia, like straight on there doing like trending sounds and stuff like that.
They keep coming up and I never watch because they're boring. But I saw one of them's pregnant or something, or was pregnant.
Oh,
Maya?
nice.
Is it Maya?
Maya's pregnant. Oh, that's nice.
I think so. Unless that was
Also,
just part of a bit or a skit or something. But I saw it for 1 second and I was like, oh, pregnant, and then scrolled. But yeah.
Also discovered Mina's a massive Swiftie, which
I know,
still
it's
love you,
very
Mina,
sad.
but
I mean, this is not a Swiftie friendly podcast. Sorry, guys.
no,
We're not going to talk shit about Taylor Swift every week because we don't care enough about her to talk
no.
about her. We're not fans. I'm sorry. Sorry to you guys who love
She's
her.
not the artist or the love of my life, and she never will be. And if anything, she's kind of the opposite. So, but live and let live.
You live and let
You
live.
know, it's not the case where in like case in point America where they're like, you know, you just got to love a conservative. You know, people vote whatever. No, I'm like the same as quite a lot of other people. Like, no. I can't love you.
It.
I do know Swifties. I just allow the conversation not to come up.
Yeah, when it's been revealed, I've always felt a pang of disappointment and disgust, but I never say that. Usually, like, our friendship and relationship surpasses like the fact that they like Taylor Swift.
Exactly.
I really do feel disgust and disappointment. Anyway, I still love Mina. Mina's great.
Yeah, we do. She's doing well. She's doing well. We're all, you know, different strokes for different folks as well,
Exactly.
as they all say. Yeah.
So, as per with the last few recaps, we're going to go episode by episode and then kind of just have a little whatever. Again, if you haven't listened to if you haven't watched one of the episodes, sorry, probably a good idea to watch it before you listen to this because we'll try, but you know, we don't remember what we're saying half the time, so it's just fine.
No, spoiler alert.
Oh yeah, we'll spoiler alert.
Use your time wisely.
Yeah,
watch the bloody show.
Listen to this if you're having withdrawals. But we'll start with episode 7 because we're the last episode, episode 9, which is the last part of that weird card game that they played outside. Yeah, so it's just Leon and Fozio at this point, I think.
Yeah, so it's just the two. Fozio, who did have the kind of the strongest poker face, at least. It was just so good to watch it. And then Leon, and I think that the last bit was them having to turn over until one of them turned over the death card, I think, was the point of that. Absolutely devastated.
I was devastated too. I mean, I really thought they were teasing like, oh, Fozio's obviously going to stay. She's got the life card. And it wasn't to be.
I know.
Leon's fine. Like I haven't been firmly on the Leon train because he betrayed Kaz. We did betray Kaz.
Yeah,
they weren't really friends.
He's not Fozia. He's not Fozia.
He's
like
not Fozia.
Anyone sat there with him, I would with Fozia. Sorry, I would be like, they're not you. Like I could never. Like even Lisa, I'd be like, sorry, you got to die tonight.
Yeah, it's time to go.
You got to you got to have your moment. You got to send. But yeah,
she's one of a kind.
Devastated.
So should we talk about Fozia's amazing murder, which is one of the best I've ever seen? Probably the best, actually.
It was like, she looked at them and she was just like, she doesn't even care that Mina was standing there. She was like,
give a shit. She was like, all right, Mina. So, anyway, I knew it was you.
And then when she was, I don't know, she just
Linda, sorry.
Like her little side, like.
I know. Her little side eye.
Watch our YouTube because I'm doing an impression.
You'll see our expressions, but yeah.
Yeah, but that was just.
It was so funny.
Cuba is honestly, it stayed with me all week.
Literally.
Like in my head, I hear, "You're not gonna last." Oh, get a
good night's sleep tonight because you're going tomorrow. Like, yes.
Oh, it just gave me life, and I just love that she
get over it. That was really funny.
Yeah, it was brilliant. Oh, but it was. To be honest, the show's peaked. In that scene, I was like, the show's peaked.
Yeah,
like these two, absolute like wonderful, and like it's giving like I was saying, like it's like two women working that hate each other. It's giving like school secretaries who just love to like undermine each other. It's giving that
just like being passive aggressive to one another.
Yeah, they have a lot of power.
I think because I didn't get as much of a sense of it on the show, but I watched was it Uncloaked? the thing that Ed Gamble does or whatever. I never watch it because I don't. Sorry,
not a fan. Yeah, we're the number one Traitors podcast in around here, not in terms of listeners, but
well, yeah, we'll be there one day. I thought, I need to see Linda and Fozia like meet up again. This is going to be amazing, and I very much got the sense that Fozia has all the control. I suppose, like I think she's just winding Linda up.
Yeah,
and
massively.
Linda kind of just gets wound up. It was very funny
as well, and like they were saying, Linda, you know, like people didn't really understand like why you didn't really say anything or like, you know, whatever. She's like, well, you know, I'm just really random, like I'm really random, and I moved to like the Netherlands with like a 4-year-old, and and Fozzie was like, yeah, but we didn't know that though, and I was just like, yes, see, remind us. Like, what's the point of that? Like, what's the point of the game? And also her reaction to finding out Charlotte is putting on a fake Welsh accent. She was like, what's the point of that? What's that going to do?
Gone too soon. She was a brilliant character. I want to hear her again in life. I feel like, please pop up somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't know where.
She needs to pop up somewhere. Because I also think, like, is that someone as well where... Because she was saying, I think her job is like an outreach worker. And I think she works with young people. I assume she does. But I think that also puts her in a really good position to, like, sift out people's shifty behaviour. Because kids, when they've done something, it's very easy to tell. Do you know what I mean? And adults are the same. Like, people pretty much behave the same. I think adults think they hide it better.
Yeah. They think that they have more control.
Yeah. So I think that's why she was so good. I think that's why she was like it was really easy for her to suss Linda from the beginning because she was acting out the ordinary. It was so brilliant. R.I.P.
I know.
But yeah, that was an interesting moment for us. How did you feel about the, I don't know, like ensuing thing with them kind of coming out in the mission and the coffins and how they reacted and all that sort of stuff, because that was an interesting kind of point of contention.
Yeah, one thing weirdly that they were all acting a bit annoying. I think I felt quite a big sense of loss and a bit like, all the boring ones are left. Like I don't really care about anyone here apart from Mina. Maybe.
Yeah.
And it was a very like Anna and Leanne heavy episode, and I also was upset that Leanne was still there. Not Leanne, Anna survived. I just wanted her to go, and I was kind of sick of the whole, they're after me, they're trying to get me, they've been after me since day one, like all that stuff. I was like, yeah, well, now you actually have made yourself a target, so let's wrap it up and get you gone. I found the actual challenge of like getting them out the coffin kind of boring, but I found it interesting that what they were sort of cottoning onto or thinking they were cottoning onto when they emancipated them or whatever.
Yeah.
Because like Anna got out and acted as if she'd been like, I don't know, she'd been captured and tortured, and she actually had been in the coffin all night long. When it's like, we know that the producers got you max in here, like max 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, literally.
Stop it. Like, it
was such an overdramatic moment. It was just like, it was just so silly. Like,
it was so dumb.
I think it was a fun mission to watch them all get really stressed. That's what I enjoyed. Like, I really liked watching. When they got Alexander out and he was saying things to them and he was like, no, but if I was there, imagine one has a card in their hand and then they go and
like, what happened? Why did
they were just like, God, Alexander, and he was like, if you have any more questions, let me know. And it was like he's giving like really irritating like robot. Now he was previous like annoying senior manager at work. Now he's kind of still that, but he's like more robotic.
Yeah. I think he's like in some kind of like pedagogy or something that he teaches or something.
Yeah.
He teaches something. That's like the role he's like slipped into, like annoying, sort of out of touch.
Like ChatGPT
professor, I don't know, but / AI.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, I liked also how lackluster the response was when they revealed that he was in the coffin. They were like, fuck's sake.
Yeah.
No one was happy to see him.
He seems to be, he's kind of like the queen of everybody's hearts.
I
Like, well,
know.
I mean, I do find him entertaining, and
Yeah,
I
it's
think
cute.
it's cute, it's sweet as well that he makes Claudia laugh. But I guess yeah, with Leon when they got him, because they all love Leon.
I know, it's
Frankie,
really weird.
bloody hell! I was like,
Oh,
she was like running down the hill, and she was like, she
yeah,
was
she was like,
really pulling on that rope.
I really thought she was going to break her ankle and really hurt herself. I wouldn't do that. I'm not running to save her.
No,
Like, we'll get there. It'll be fine.
they just went for it. But yeah, it was an interesting. I think I agree. I think, and I'm actually in with all these episodes, I feel like I don't know what it is with the tasks. Like the one,
Mm,
that one, this one especially, it felt like there was something missing.
yes.
That they'll be
Yeah.
like, oh, we're going to make them kind of simple, but also add extra complicated elements. But there's not much jeopardy. And the
Yeah, there's no
first,
real payoff. It was just like
mm,
go open the coffin,
yeah,
basically.
yeah.
And kind of
And
read this clue that's not that helpful about anything. But yeah.
exactly. And I think also what's hard is because what's hard for them is that they think because they were told, oh, there could have been a traitor in the death match. But they haven't really been able to suss out what the rules were. Like,
Yeah,
so what would make it easy for a traitor to join the death match? Like, how would they
exactly.
survive it without
Yeah.
being
Like
like,
they don't know how everything and also and the people who played it don't also who didn't get to the end. Everyone apart from
mm,
Leon, I guess, even Leon, they don't know what happened afterwards. So
no,
like they don't know how the traitors would have been involved if they were, and how that would have gone down after the murder kind of
mm,
thing. And the game was a bit convoluted. They kind of should have just said it's a game of chance. There's one life card. You can all steal it from each other.
yeah,
But for some
I
reason, when I
know.
watched it, I was like, I don't understand.
The player with the card move, go, then one card. You,
It
I
was like,
don't
oh my
know.
god, too many words.
Chill.
Just like we
Yeah.
don't have, as you said, like our attention span is terrible as a public. So just work with us and like. But they have they
Make,
have people explaining the rules these days. Like I'm sure they did that before, but I've only just noticed.
yeah. What the contestants having to
Yeah,
explain it back to
after
us. Yeah,
Claudia said
yeah.
it, they'd be like, "Well, this is what we're doing." It's like okay, but
Yeah.
anyway,
Thank you.
yeah. I mean, it was interesting. We started to see them get suspicious about Leon because he didn't have whatever response they wanted him to have, and that was fun, I guess, of watching like
Mm,
Leanne start to waver a little bit. Um,
yes. And it's interesting with Leanne. So Leanne's, is again someone who's quite prominent in the limelight.
mhm.
Um, and I understand why if someone is in 1 minute a bit like funny and like not well sorry really close to you and the next minute a bit funny, and obviously it was good that Leon got an opportunity to explain himself, but I do feel like it's like 1 minute she wants it to be a best friend race, and
Mhm.
then next minute she wants it to be a team, they're all a team, and the next minute she's totally out for herself, like when she threw down under the bus. I don't really understand. I feel like
Don't
she
understand her
just goes
gameplay.
off of like her motivation in the moment. She's not
Yeah,
very tactical, and her whole thing about I'm in the army and it's all about whatever and it's all about like street strategy. I'm like, you're not showing any strategy. You just kind
it's
of
just
gun
doing
for
whatever.
whatever you feel like in the moment. Like I just hate this whole like, yeah, I just hate the whole like, well, I'm just going to speak my mind. And well, I don't hate that someone speaks their mind, but like,
No, but
I
she
just feel
she
like
borders on rude.
think,
Like she
yeah,
it's
think
too
about it.
intense. Yeah.
Yeah. And she will like go off on someone and just be like,
Just chill out.
just chill
Like it's
out.
not that deep.
Like, you don't need to
Also,
be
this
the,
isn't your
yeah,
family. You don't know these people. Like you actually
exactly.
don't know these people. So
Met them for like
stop
5 minutes.
it. Literally, like stop, please.
It's
Please.
giving dominant for the sake of wanting to feel like the most dominant person in the room, rather
Yeah.
than like trying to do it in a way that's like, oh, this is going to get me far in the game.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
kind of what I struggle with a bit with her.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and
It's an
and
interesting
and it,
one.
yeah, and I feel like I wrote in my notes, I was like, she's a treacherous faithful, because I
She
feel like
is. She gives traitor energy.
yeah, why there haven't been more. I mean, in this episode, there's no heat on her, but like, I just feel like she would have been I would have had my eye on her from very early on,
So would
given
I.
how like quick she is to be like,
And how much noise she makes and all that stuff.
mm,
Um,
mm.
but yeah, who goes? Oh, is it Linda who goes today?
So
Yeah,
Linda goes,
yeah.
yeah. I think, you know, she she tried really
She
hard
tried her
in the
best.
first
This was
instance,
probably her
but
best performance, I
it
think.
was. I think she did her damnedest to defend herself, which was cute. Although it was sweet because obviously in the beginning of the episode we saw her say to Mina like, "Don't worry about me. Like I'll be if I'll stand up for my. You don't have to stand up for me, basically." And obviously Mina was already like 3 steps ahead of her. She was like,
Mm-hmm.
"I can't back Linda. I know that Linda's gonna um the heat is too much. If I'm seen to be defending her, that's absolutely ridiculous." Um, yeah, I can't. I mean, I don't know whether. I don't know whether Jake did much of the work. He really
No,
certainly
he
loved to bloody
forgot.
take the credit.
He sussed her well, he had an inkling initially, and then he kind of just forgot about it and was like, "Oh,
Mm,
other people." And then when everyone else was like Linda again, he's like, "Yeah, what I said
yeah.
before." He wasn't as influential as I think he thinks he was.
No, he just wasn't prepared to do the work.
He
That's
didn't
what I'm
do the
saying.
work. He didn't do
He
the
just wouldn't do the
work.
work. I'm just like, he just was like, oh, I think it's her. Oh, I think it's her. And he just like, he was a bit smug. Like, it kind of
Hmm.
bothered me a little bit. I'm not going to lie. But my general feeling, Cuba, I'm really sorry, but like, they're all so mid
Yeah, they
right
are very
now.
mid. They are very mid.
Like,
I don't think they're the like quickest,
no.
strongest team members, which happens a lot actually. The closer you get to
Mm,
the end, you're sort of left with the nice ones. There's like a few nice kind of dumb ones, sorry. And then there are like
yeah.
the really strategic, smart ones who are either traitors or just like have actually worked to stay there. And I don't know who the yeah. I don't know.
It just when I was sat there and I was like listening to the evidence that they were putting forward, and like I think I think Anna as well, like continuing to like push the whole thing of like, they were out to get me, they're out to get me. It's like, but based on what though?
I
Like
know.
based on what? Like, who is that? And like, because I mean the thing is like, she thinks it's Mina. I
Hmm.
think just based on like the fact that Mina is flying under the radar, popular,
Hmm.
and hasn't had suspicion. I didn't get any other clues from Anna. So it was like,
Yeah.
whatever. Joe is just like resting face. It's just like
Joe's very
so
miserable. I don't know
hard.
what this is. I've
I'm
been
just like,
enjoying him and like also not at the same time. Like his random little
mm,
throwaway comments when he's in a challenge, for example, usually not all the time, will be kind of funny sometimes.
yeah, yeah. Can
But
be funny.
he's very like he doesn't listen, I think. I find
No.
people who have a lack of listening skills irritating. Um what did he do? He did is this the same episode? Because I'm looking ahead. Um, is this when they're rude to Alexander?
No. So yeah, oh, to Alex, yes. So this is where they all jump on Alexander.
Yeah,
So where Leon and Alexander have their little tiff at the round table.
yeah,
And I because I feel like Alexander, I can see why if I was Leanne, I'd feel patronized by him. I could
yeah. I could get
understand
that.
her feelings of being like, oh, because I think when I mean, speaking for, I don't know, if I was in there like a quite posh man, white man, was being like, no, actually, I think I'll find. I don't think he was intending to do that, but
That's just what he
also
gives.
it's what he gives. So I saw why she got her back up. But then I was also like, you have to allow people to land. Like, you can't just jump to being like, you're doing this to me. You're like, you can't be so accusatory. You can say, oh,
Yeah,
like, oh, I'm feeling patronized, but like seems like it was like a way to try and like take him down a peg or two. I just don't think that's necessary in the game if you actually do
No,
believe he's a faithful, but they're not actually accusing him of being a traitor like that strongly. So
no,
it's just
it's
like, what's
weird.
the point there? You're just kind of doing it to be mean. It just was a bit
Yeah.
weird.
I felt like she could have waited a few minutes before she said the patronizing thing to see he might have actually got there at some point because he was starting
Yeah.
to do a bit of a "Ooh," like he was like revving up to be patronizing, but I don't think he was saying
Yeah.
anything that outlandish. And he was playing the game. She was just taking everything. I don't like it when they take things as personally as she has and like a few other people
Yeah.
have. It pisses me off. Just like this is a game. This is not about being mates, as you said
Yeah.
before. So, but it was fun to watch them clash. And she kind of made herself look a bit, I don't know, like she'd sort of done too much anyway.
Mm.
She kind of humiliated herself a little bit, which I don't
Yeah.
think she probably realised. I think she was
No.
quite happy to do what she did, but it did make her look a bit like, all right, like chill.
Yeah. And I don't think that what's hard is that a lot of people left in the game, I guess at the end of the week, but like even at this point, are not people that I like that much. Like, oh, I
Yeah,
enjoy watching that much. I think Alexander, like, because he's a bit goofy, it's like it's fun. But like none of them I'm like, I really love them, or I'm like, oh, I look for really warm feeling towards.
yeah.
Um, I did actually find, so around this round table, this is when Lisa like had her little moment. She had like, I think this was one where she always, it was like borderline soliloquy. It was very powerful. She spoke for quite a while,
Yeah.
and or maybe it was in the next episode. But when she was like, "Oh, I just think I'm very good at this game," and it was like, I don't put yourself down. It made me
No.
sad to hear like a woman in her 60s being like, I'm not very good at this, and I was like, oh, it's sad to hear like the
All the self doubt creeping in and stuff like
yeah,
that.
the self-doubt, like still being around, and still be, even though like you've been just as strong as a player, you've really not ever really been accused or suspected,
Mm.
even before the you were open about being a priest, like, and you've also, I think, been a massive team player and like been um made alliances without making them be like um put against you. So
Yeah.
it was sad to hear that she felt that she'd played it badly, because
I thought she did a really great job. She even there were a few times as well where she was spot on with who the traitors were.
yeah.
She didn't necessarily put them forward at the round table because I think she genuinely was like, I don't know, so I'm not going to just
Mm,
say, yeah, you for no reason. But she had sound theories. She was a delight. I really enjoyed her. Thought she was quite sweet, and I
yeah.
liked that she seemed to be quite protective over a few people that who I don't know if people were ganging up on people. She always seemed to protect them a bit, or try to.
Yeah.
So that was nice. But by the end of that episode, obviously, so yeah, Linda goes, and then we find out that Mina has to recruit
Mm,
or kill, basically.
yeah.
Um, they have no choice. Whoever she chooses, and she chooses Charlotte. I wouldn't have chosen Charlotte. Who would you have
Okay.
chosen?
So why I don't disagree with you, but why wouldn't you have chosen Charlotte?
I don't bloody trust her. I just
No.
thought, well, obviously I've seen things that Mina hasn't seen, but I just thought Charlotte is gonna snake you in a second. Like there is
Yeah.
no, she'd be a really good traitor, and she's already got that
Yeah.
alibi. It's not really an alibi. They haven't proven that she's faithful. They just believe that she is after she
Yeah.
cried at the initial whatever, when she was accused the first time. But yeah, I just thought she will stab you in the back. She'll be the reason that you don't get to the end. You've survived so far, and you don't need someone you can trust. You need someone you can manipulate, which is what you've been doing. Even though you've been doing it in a nice way, it's what
Yeah.
you've been doing so far. And you need someone who thinks that they're smart, but isn't, or isn't good smart in terms of the game. Yeah, and I don't know who she should have chosen instead. I might have chosen someone who like Joe or something
Yeah. Yeah.
because he'd be easy to throw under the bus, and he would be. I think he would fuck himself over very, very
Yeah.
quickly.
I mean, because I agree with all the reasons why she wouldn't choose Charlotte, but I think those are all the reasons why she did choose Charlotte. Not
Yeah,
that she's a snake, but because Charlotte has been a floater. She had like initial suspicion, and then she kind of fell off. And
yeah,
And I think in conversation with Charlotte, you probably think she seems quite clueless, because she has been quite clueless this whole time. So I don't think it was a bad move, in the sense that Charlotte has decision making and like skills have just been so all over the place.
Yeah, she's just been doing whatever.
Yeah, I think I was surprised that Mina chose. I obviously don't know how close they are, but I would have expected her to have chosen someone like Leanne, or because I think Leanne was someone who was starting to gain like a bit of suspicion around, and I think Leanne maybe actually the whole thing of Leanne throwing Dan under the bus maybe gave Mina a reason to be like, hang on, she could quite easily turn on me. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it was more obvious to Mina.
I think Mina was more motivated by who can I build this sisterhood with,
yeah,
and who can I like actually trust, and like now I can relax and we can like just take it to the end. But if you're not really close, I don't know, maybe they are really close, I don't know. But it just felt a bit like, why do you trust her so much? Is it because you're tired and you just need like an ally? You just need to put your feet up for like 5 minutes and like sort of let someone else do some of the heavy lifting.
Yeah, exactly. Not have to do all the decision making and like strategizing and like keeping it together. It was just like not like herding a cat. Yeah, literally.
Linda, she had a really hard job of like getting her to actually do what she was supposed to do. So
and we forget as well the reign of Armani being like, guys, you really need to. It's like, so yeah, who would I have chosen? I probably would have chosen someone like I think I probably would have chosen Lisa or Alex, maybe. I think I would have chosen someone really, because if you think about it this way, if it's like recruit or murder, those are probably people. I'm not me personally, I wouldn't want to murder them, but they would be quite big kills in terms of like, and those two are probably less like, if Mina was doing it to try and stay in the game like on her own, then I would choose someone I wanted to, who I think would turn it down.
Yeah,
if that makes sense, flipping it on its head. So yeah, like maybe Alex, or because Frankie would definitely have accepted. I think Joe would have definitely accepted. Leanne, all of them would have accepted. Leon definitely would have accepted, because he's like, I need to,
family.
My family. I need to get this money. And who else is in there? I've forgotten. I don't think anyone else
was at the time, but yeah. He probably would have. Yeah, but I think it helped that she recruited someone who accepted, because they assumed that Anna's murder, which we found out they murdered Anna, next episode.
Yeah,
onto that.
Exactly.
Anna's murder made it look like it was the only thing that happened, basically. That the traitors just murdered, and then that was that, and there was no recruitment. Otherwise, it kind of, if there were two murders, they would know, okay, so they tried to recruit, which means their numbers are down, which means there can only be 2 or 1.
Oh, would there have been 2 murders? Oh, yeah. I missed that. Oh.
Well, no, because they killed Fozia, and then...
Oh, of course. Yeah.
No, wait, they killed Anna. No, whatever. There were 2 murders. There was 1 murder, but there could have been 2 if Charlotte didn't accept, is what I'm saying.
Yes.
Yeah. So that would have like made it clear that there's not that many traitors left.
So Charlotte wouldn't have counted as the murder for that week. There would have been another murder that she. Yeah. Okay. I get it. Yeah. I obviously wasn't listening.
I said that in a really confusing way, but I just felt like, oh no, it was helpful to have someone who would accept, because then it makes the last murder look like that was all that happened that night, rather than a murder and a recruitment.
Yeah, that's true.
Which they don't see.
I mean, I'm just no, they don't. Because I think I would be sat there like, they're trying to get rid of all of us. And I probably, as a traitor, would have been like, get more, kill them all.
Yeah, I think Mina would have been fine on her own, but hey, she had to. She would have been.
Yeah, she would have been. But I guess episode 8. So we find out Charlotte's been recruited.
What happened to the sisterhood? What happened?
Yeah, whatever this. Also, like, again, justice for Lisa. Charlotte was like, "Oh, Lisa's a bit dead weight." I was
I
like,
know. I was like, oh, Rich, she's not wasting any time.
"Speak for your fucking self."
I know, you're dead weight. She was dead weight up until she got recruited.
You
Like,
massive dead weight.
come on, man.
Oh,
Yeah, it was quite disappointing. I was impressed because I was like, well, she's proving to be really good, and Mina's gonna have to fucking watch out for her.
yeah.
Before she even did anything, I thought, oh god, here we go. But well done, also. Like that's the way to play the game.
Yeah, exactly. You got to go whole hog, and you've got to. It as well. It's such a privilege to have gone through the whole thing as a faithful, and then get to be a traitor.
Brilliant.
That's a massive, win. So enjoy it while you can.
Mm-hmm.
I was happy with how it's started off, and I also, again, like the whole sisterhood thing. I think for Mina, I think it's for her to feel like not a shit person when she's doing it. It's
Yeah.
like a way of lightening,
Yeah.
adding a little bit of like glitter to the turd, if you like, but just have a feeling it's all going to come crashing down.
I mean, yeah. Charlotte is trying her damnedest to remind people who've had suspicions about her. She's like, yeah, Mina. She's trying to like
Yeah.
remind them, like Freddie started to suspect Mina in this episode.
Yes.
And she chose not to tell Mina that he said that. And then obviously we had Alex accidentally trip up in the kitchen.
Yeah.
When he was talking about Linda, who'd obviously already left, but he was just saying I don't remember her voting for the other traitors. And they were like, Joe was like, what?
I know.
What does it mean? I don't understand.
That's why Joe's so, like he's too deadpan, like, but not in an entertaining way. Like, you'd feel like if you said something, he'd be like, "What?
Yeah,
Like,
what does that mean? Like,
no, it's just very like, it's like like in the Muppets. I feel like there's one that's like got like a long nose, and it kind of like, I feel like it's like, he's giving like that all the time. It's really like the
I don't know that
energy,
one.
and I think also he makes people feel. You notice like he makes people feel like on edge,
Yeah,
because like
because of the way he comes at them, it's
yeah,
too
because he did that to
pointed.
Leon in the previous episode where he was like, "Oh, you just seem really like, fine when you got out of the thing. Why was that? Why have you gotten all so off with everybody now?" And it's just like, oh, and then like they had their like misunderstanding, or whatever, because Leon was like, "Oh, I'm a bit more like guarded. I'm a bit like,
Yeah,
and maybe he's picked up on some of Anna's paranoia, like, who got it out for me? Not that he, you
yeah,
know what I mean. Not that anyone actually had it out for Anna. Like it
yeah,
was just all on her own head. But I just was
exactly.
like, if I had Joe sitting across from me being like, man, I just would really, I would be like,
I think one of the
hold
things
me
that would
back, hold
mean,
my
I know,
drink.
one of the things that really wouldn't work for me on this, maybe they edit a lot of this stuff out as well, is I feel like
Mm,
I would like have arguments with people in the round table more.
yeah,
Like I would lose my shit a little bit. I could see
yeah.
myself
It's like
becoming, ugh.
it's like what we were saying about Leanne. It's like, I think I would be Leanne.
Yeah,
I
I
would
would lose
be
my
that
shit.
person.
I would become activated, as they say. Yeah, it would just be a bad look, and like everyone would hate me.
mm,
I can I can see why.
yeah.
Yeah, it's I don't know, but I can see also Alex did not do himself any favors because he tripped up after as soon as they were like, wait, what? How do you know? And
Mm,
he's like, well, obviously I don't know, but I know who was a traitor, and I know that Linda didn't vote for them. That's all I'm
yeah,
saying. But he just took a long time to get there, and by then,
exactly. It
uh,
was all too
Joe and Frankie were
much.
running around being like, he slept up, he slept up. So
I know. And I think with Frankie as well, I was like, her, well, anyway, actually, come on to that later.
yeah,
This episode, just going back a bit, what did you think of the challenge? I really enjoyed, I really enjoyed watching it.
I just
It
can't
was
remember what it was. I didn't make
it
any
was where
notes
they
about it.
had
What
to
was it?
find the dolls.
Oh, that was actually
and then they
really
had to
fun.
sing
But
it.
I had you.
Yeah. I thought it was brilliant. I
That
really
was
enjoyed
really
it.
cool. I
And we'd
liked
go, has. Sorry, go on.
oh, I've forgotten the song already. I was singing it afterwards and I've forgotten now.
What, the
Whatever it
backwards
was.
version?
Yeah, the backwards
Has,
version.
hey, hey.
I really enjoyed Alexander's singing. That was cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a fun time. I like it when they do sort of a song related challenge.
Yeah, I remember
It's
there
always
was one where
cool.
they had to do songs with the bells,
That was
with
so
the like
fun.
church bells,
Yeah, I
and
really
that
like
was,
that.
I remember at the time being like, I'm so confused. This looks so hard, um, but it was really fun watching them get stressed about it as well.
Yeah,
Um,
the dolls were genuinely scary. They were scary. I thought that was quite. It
yeah,
was very. I liked the things they were saying. I don't remember the rest of them, what they actually said,
no,
but made me
I
laugh.
al- I also really liked, this is like such a minor moment, but I really liked, this is before um they got to the task. Claudia was wearing like a long black, quite like fun, floofy skirt. And
Mm.
like when she walked into the breakfast room, Freddie was like, oh my God. Like he like reacted to it, and I just loved that. That made me laugh. That really made Fred, you know what? Freddie, I do really love. Freddie
Yeah,
I have a
it's
soft
actually
spot
really
for.
cute.
I think he's really sweet, and I
Yeah,
enjoy the way he reacts to them when they're like, "No, but you're Freddie Orchard," and he was like, "No, I'm not." Like,
he's like
he's
it's
just so
exasperating.
exasperated. Like, for God's
Yeah, he's like,
sake,
oh, I can't be asked for this.
yeah.
It's
He
annoying.
was funny in the task.
Yeah, I think
Um,
sometimes I get annoyed that the little baby boys always make it to the end, but
mm,
I actually find him quite cute, and I have actually liked the little baby boys when they were
yeah,
on Traitors. So fine, whatever.
yeah. I think little baby boys, as long as they're like not assholes and they're not like kind of getting off on the fact that they are little baby boys. Like Jake is at the moment being very like, oh gosh, he's just like, I'm just not here for the smugness. Like I'm more than happy
Mm.
that he's like doing well, fine, but I'm not like rooting for him.
Keep
Whereas
forgetting about Jake, you know.
yeah,
I don't know
well, because
why.
I remember in the first series, but there was a little baby boy. I can't remember what his name is now, but he was really quite harmless.
The
He
one
got
who went to Love Island
yeah.
and ruined his reputation because he was an arse. He
Oh,
was awful. He was like the devil on that show. But anyway, yeah,
jeez. I mean, yeah, little baby boy arsehole turned arsehole. There we go.
yeah,
But he at the time it was yeah. So I think as long as you feel like you're not too in love with yourself, I think
yeah.
you can
I
make it
think you'll be
far.
okay. Yeah, it's a good.
Yeah,
If you're 20 or like whatever, and you're
yeah,
little baby boy energy, apply for
yeah.
Traitors.
Exactly.
Um,
Go for it.
yeah. So in the actual round table, was this
Mm,
when Leanne started to suspect Leon, or
uh,
start to put it forward a bit more?
yes, I
She didn't
think
necessarily vote for him, but
yeah.
she was like, "I'm struggling. You're not the same
I
with me."
I know. I didn't make lots of notes on Leanne, I don't think. Or she didn't strike me in much. I think Leon, I think Leon definitely, things are shifting towards him because his behavior's shifted.
Yeah, which I understand.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah, it makes sense. But I don't necessarily think that, uh, I don't think that he would have, um, the idea of him being the traitor in the death match, it still doesn't really make sense to me. Like I don't think he would have, I don't know what he would have gained from putting himself in there. It's like they've not made enough of a case
I
for
think.
him being in there. Like
Yeah,
I think that's the main
yeah.
thing. Sorry, it took me
Emily
ages to get
was
there.
no, it's okay. Our friend Emily, she was saying to me the other day, she was like, "Oh,
mm,
what do you call it? Obviously, they edit out when they talk about previous seasons." And I was like, "Oh, of course they do.
mm,
Of course they do." So, like, there is obviously there are some theories that might be based on stuff that they might be like, "Well, last year this happened," but
yeah,
we'll never
yeah.
see that as viewers, which was a really good point. I have a
Of course.
feeling that the reason that they think there was a traitor in there is because last year when they played a similar game, that whatever his name was, the ginger one, was a traitor, and there was another traitor there as well. So I think they were just like, oh, last time this happened, and this is what the traitors did. So I'm guessing they're going to do the same thing again. But they didn't. So,
no, exactly.
yeah. So
And yeah, you're right. I think it's a shame that they can't reference previous games, because I think it would help them a lot
yeah,
to
it'd be
understand their
interesting.
thinking, because
Yeah.
especially with the whole, again, the voting for traitors or thing it's like every traitor votes for the traitors. Like if they see the tide turn, they vote for them as well. They never don't vote for their own. Like they never defend each other ever.
Yeah.
So it's kind of annoying that we can't see them reference previous games. But this is the episode, this is the round table where I think this is where they start going for Mina more rather than Leon.
They were like,
so this is
hold on a second.
This is where Freddie starts bringing her up a bit more and being like, I guess, making her defend herself. What do we think of Mina's defending skills so far?
I don't think she's terrible at it. I think she's all right. I think but that she has an expression in her face that's very like, I'm dead, I've died. Which I think is her just trying to do a neutral face.
Yeah.
But it comes across like, I'm cold and dead inside, and I could be a traitor. So I don't know how do you fix that? I don't know. Especially if you are feeling nervous and things are starting to close in around you. I don't really understand how you would not. I don't know. I wouldn't be able to do it. I kept thinking maybe like laugh a bit. But that's probably not helpful.
Maybe try and,
I don't know.
Come on. Do you know, so what did you think when she said in the previous episode about Anna, and how Anna was like, you marked me, and she was like, I did not mark you? And I thought that was when she said that, knowing she's a traitor watching it, it was like, oh, we know that she didn't mark her. But it was also, in my mind, if I was sat there and be like, it was said in a way that was like, oh, that wasn't what I was supposed to do. Like that wasn't, do you know what I mean? Like
it could be something else.
Yeah. I feel like she's said things in the way that Alex said the thing. I think she's framed her words in a way that sounds like, oh no, that's not what my task was as a traitor. Like that's not what my MO was at the time.
Yeah, I don't know if that's more obvious to us because
I think so.
Because we know. But I don't know, it might be something that they're missing. Like they should maybe pay attention to things like that.
Yeah.
Since they picked up on it. But yeah.
Exactly. And also, just speaking on the round table, what did you think? So with Lisa being like, Alex, I'm not going to vote for you. And then obviously she didn't vote for him. But Frankie.
I know, yeah. It's really dramatic.
She really goes in, doesn't she? Because when she went in on Dan that time, she was like, yes. And then this time she was like, Alex, we're friends, but
I'm really disappointed.
It's too much.
It was almost like you've done this to me. And it's like,
it was very.
If Alex was a traitor and you were upset because you were mates, okay, like
so
what's this got to do with anything?
It's not like he's secretly stealing your PIN number.
Yeah.
Or like he's like I don't know, like
done something awful to you.
To your house, or like he's actually trying to stab you in the back. He's literally playing a game.
Yeah. I do obviously the nature of it. Sorry. The nature of it, I think, obviously has the same sort of effect that like other reality shows might have, where they're like,
sure,
because we're spending so much time together, the connections feel stronger than they actually are. But I don't know that I would. I think maybe because I'm quite a standoffish person, sometimes it depends on the environment. It depends. Like I'm a very much say no to work colleagues.
Yeah,
in general. You go out of my way to build friendships,
but you're not standoffish.
Not standoffish, but I'm also not inviting. I'm not like, let's be best friends. Like I'm just not. I've never been like that, and I couldn't see myself doing a show like this. Yeah, doing a show like this and being like, this is my best friend. Like, no, I don't.
Yeah, it's weird.
Not with any of you.
Yeah. Because I think it was before we started recording, I was reading a BBC article that's about Secrets of the Traitors, and it was saying how like a lot of the time they spend just chatting, like getting to know each other. So I think that's where they build, and because they have no phones, they have no contact to the
Yeah.
outside world, they are like go from like being alone in a hotel room to like being in this house with it. I think that's where they get this real like, oh, we're so close, like thing from. And you're right, I think certain personalities are more likely to lean into that than others.
Mhm.
But I feel like being like, oh, I'm so disappointed. It's like, but if Alex was just on his own and didn't really speak to anyone, then you would think you would suspect him anyway. Like,
Exactly. The
why
whole
why
point is
wouldn't?
being close
Yeah,
to the people
exactly.
you're murdering.
Yeah,
Not all the time, but being close enough to the people that they don't suspect you.
yeah.
And obviously, Alex was faithful, just really shit at telling the truth. Well, shit at putting his point across and defending himself. Unfortunately, in the end, and he was banished, which made Frankie look guilty, even though we know she's not. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, it was interesting, that whole performance. I was just like,
Yeah, devastated. And then I think, yeah, and then we saw again more suspicions around Mina and da da da. But shall we move on to the next episode?
yeah, we've got Charlotte being going full traitor character,
Yeah,
and sadly we lose the lovely Lisa.
sad times. She had a really great
She
exit speech.
she
She sort of
did.
made reference to Jesus, which was fun. So there'll be no second coming.
Yeah,
I thought
just
that
want
was
to
cute.
say as well. So Kuba and I were told a spoiler,
Yeah. No,
which
this
is
is in quotes spoiler. It wasn't a
yeah, which
spoiler.
is now not really a spoiler, but a friend of ours knows Lisa. No, doesn't. Friend of a friend knows Lisa or lives near Lisa, and said apparently that she bought a BMW after she came back, which made us think, oh, could she have
Has she
won?
won? Yeah. She
Which
just got a new
would,
car.
yeah,
Or
Lisa
she
just
didn't get a new car, and this person's just chatting
just
shit.
making shit up, and we're there, and I'm there thinking, Lisa's gonna win. I'm so happy. I was like, you know what? I was like, I don't really care if it's a spoiler. I'm just really excited to see
Yeah.
how that plays out. And yeah, no, I don't think. I mean, maybe she got money from somewhere else on the Traitors somewhere. I don't
Maybe I
know.
hope so. I mean, if you
Yeah,
got, I hope it's not from the congregation, But
yeah, exactly.
I think, yeah, Lisa was
Shot their hand in
lovely.
the
I really
till.
enjoyed her. She can do some songs of praise things, or I don't know,
Yeah,
whatever else
that would
she's
be
into.
nice.
She can do fun things. I don't know.
Maybe she'll get the people back to church. The
Maybe
heathens.
she'll make it. She'll make church cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, rest in peace. In Traitors
R.I.P.
Land, I mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we're whittling it down now. It's very apparent at this point that
Mm.
there aren't that many of them left.
Yeah.
At the breakfast table, because it's a small table, which they keep saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I think now they are realizing they do have to have evidence when they accuse people, which is something I think
Mhm.
Joe in particular was like, I think I can't remember who he was speaking about. I think it was Alexander. And it was like, oh, I've noticed, it was like, but you actually have to come up with a reason why you think Alexander's a traitor. You can't
Mhm.
just be like, oh, because he came in, like, no, it can't be
You can't be like,
circumstantial. It
what
has
about
to
this
be
one?
like,
Like,
yeah,
stabbing in the dark makes sense when I don't know, when there are maybe 7 people left or something. But
yeah.
I think now just try to screw your head on a bit. It was a bit weird. I quite like the task this week. Oh, actually, before we get there, how do you think Charlotte's coming across? Because I can't remember if she was this nervous. Actually, yes, I did think she looked nervy before
Yeah.
she was made into a traitor. But
Yeah.
she looks especially nervy now. What do you think about that?
Exactly. I think that she's doing well because she looks the same and she
Mhm.
looks nervous, and it's probably easy to continue that nervousness over because they keep saying, like, obviously as a faithful you are really nervous and really paranoid. So because you're worried about getting murdered or you're worried about being accused. So I
Mhm.
think her temperament can remain the same. She doesn't really have to do much. I don't know whether, I think it's funny watching her in conversations where they're like, I definitely know you're a faithful, and she's just there like,
she's like,
I think that's quite funny watching her like just sit there and be like, yeah. And it's like,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
So I
definitely
think that's,
faithful.
if she's if that is how she's been reacting, then yeah. But
yeah, it's working in her favor for sure.
yeah, Mina's happy with her. Mina's like, performance review. Yeah, she'd be passing her probation for sure.
Yeah.
So there we go. That's good.
Mina keeps getting up and hugging people who were sad as well, which is fine. I think that's her normal instinct, but I keep being like, just
Yeah.
sit down, don't just
I
stop drawing attention
know.
to yourself. Like, don't hug Frankie, or whoever she hugs.
I know.
Just
Frankie's had
stop.
enough now. She's
I
had
really
enough.
want it to get back to okay, so they have this head task. Well, it's not a head task. There's a task where they have to build plinths or whatever.
When they have
statues.
to carry the big willies.
Yeah, they have to carry the big phallic objects up a hill and put it on a thing, and then they have to put their heads on top of that to secure. And there's one shield basically. So whoever puts it on the shield, puts their head on the shield, one gets the shield. That was it was an interesting. I actually enjoyed it because they were all I don't know, this weird like politeness, like this expectation that everyone should be really fair came over them. And it didn't really call for that. It wasn't necessarily a team exercise.
No.
Didn't have not in the way that they made it. Like when it got to the point of being like, hey, you can take your own head up the thing if you want. Why didn't they just do that? Just do that.
I know.
Take your heads.
It was like, I think because they don't want to be seen to be like scrambling and like going for whatever reason. But and I don't know, I think it's that thing that takes over people. It's like when you try and let someone go in front of you and you're like, oh, like, or like sometimes I have that where I'll try and let someone go in front of me and they'll be like, no, you go, and I'm like, no, you go, I said. Like, it's trying to take control over the situation and try and not look like the best person, but like, I think it, in some ways you think, oh yeah, it's nice that they are considering people who haven't had the shield before, but is it really adding, are they doing it to, I think are they doing that to suss people's intentions, or are they doing that just because for the sake of fairness?
I
Do you know what I
don't know.
mean?
I think some of it was fairness with mixed in with like keeping up appearances and trying to look good as well. Like I think some of them probably, because in that task, yes, a traitor might work extra hard to get the shield, but also because there are so few people, it makes sense if you can literally run and take your head to the top, and you feel like you can beat everyone, then why wouldn't you go for it? It just doesn't make any sense for me. It was one of the most clear-cut go for the shield exercises, as well as like they had to get all the 4 heads on to get any of the money in the first place. Yes, focus on that. But as soon as that's done, fucking go for it.
Yeah,
I would. But I understand not wanting to stand out, I suppose.
True. Yeah. Who got the shield in the end? Can you remember?
Freddie.
It was Freddie.
Baby. Yeah, Freddie got it. Which, and he hadn't had it before, so that was good for him.
No. And Joe was pissed off, wasn't he?
Yeah, Joe was being very
had another reason to be like, why can't I get the shield? I just don't think it's fair. Like, I've never had one. And then I think it kind of bit him in the arse a bit, because I think Frankie was like, well, I've never had one.
Yeah.
I don't complain. Like, not that she talks like that.
Yeah, I thought it was quite interesting as well, the whole thing about Frankie chatting shit about Leanne. About Leanne going for it and trying to get her herself, or taking her own head up the hill, and lying about that when she was confronted later.
Yeah,
quite fun and snaky. I was like, oh no, but you were chatting shit. That's fine though. It's just a game.
Exactly. You're like, no,
I would
never said. I did not say. What was it that I didn't say that was mean or something like that? Or yeah, what was the word she said?
It was, or that she was annoyed about it. Whatever it was.
Yeah, I didn't say we were annoyed. That was it.
She said, actually, I said it was proof that she was the faithful because she was trying so hard. I was like, no, you didn't. You said either she's a traitor and XYZ, or she's a faithful and she's trying really hard to protect herself, which is also, that's not a crazy thing to say.
I know,
Just
exactly.
say that.
Yeah, I think it's. I think when people hear themselves being accused behind their back, it's like. But the whole point, again, it's like the whole point is we're supposed to be catching traitors. So you need to share your theories with people to see how people respond, to understand whether like, and if you know you're a faithful, then it's like, why wouldn't you just be like, throw things out there? I don't understand why Leanne is so like offended, like she doesn't just take it on the chin. And again, this was another opportunity. Sorry, this is like Leanne hate podcast. This is another opportunity for her to be like, do I pretend like I'm a nail tech? Because nail techs are like notoriously weak, can't carry things. Or do I just go for it because I'm in the army and I've carried logs up hills, guys? What do? I don't give a shit. Just bloody get on with it. Don't care.
I was saying, like, when I was watching it, I was like, if you were literally like a superhero, you're Clark Kent and you're playing with mortals and you're like, oh shit, I can't run as fast as I can actually run because I've got superhuman speed or whatever and I have to hold back. Fine. Leanne, you weren't
exactly. You weren't in like a marathon or like a 100-meter sprint. You had to carry shit up a hill. Like people, nail techs can go to CrossFit. They can go to the bloody gym.
You don't know what they're getting up to in their everyday life. Like, what does this mean?
Not here for the narrative.
They can't know that I'm a soldier. Oh, okay. Fuck, go away. You're so annoying. But yeah, I actually admired her taking her own head up the thing. Well, that was a good thing. I can't remember. There's a lot of stuff that happened in the rest of the episode, but my notes were so shit. I wrote Joe being arsey.
Yeah, a lot of mine is like Joe wants best friends race. Leon, like, they're supposed to be lying to you, Leanne. I don't know what that's about. I don't know what they're supposed to be lying to you about. I think that was the thing that you mentioned about Frankie.
Okay, fair enough. So who else was grilled at the round table when they got there?
I think Freddie comes back up again because of the shield thing.
Yeah.
And Mina are the main ones, I think. But Leon got banished.
Yes. Leon got it, I guess, in the sense that like they had to test the theory, I suppose. And it was unfortunate that he got banished, but I also didn't care that much. I cared in the sense of like, oh, sad for you, family man. Like, but I'm sure
I cared for him.
You'll be fine. You'll be all right. I feel like he'll have other opportunities and whatever. People seem to like him.
Yeah, I did. I can't remember if it was this episode or the last episode, but he came in wearing a hat, and I was like, I feel like you were told to wear that by your kids to look cool. He was wearing like a little beanie hat, and it just looked really like, oh, he's doing fashion. Oh,
he's doing fashion today.
Yeah, he felt like, oh, I'm going to do fashion today. He's not worn a hat the whole time he's been in there. He was like, I'm just going to wear a little hat. Maybe he was having a bad hair day. I don't know, but like he just looked. It just was like it was like a stylish hat, you know.
I thought Jenny made a funny comment where he was like, I thought Leon was a family man. Like he's been really.
Yeah, what does that matter?
He's playing a game. Yeah. He's not your dad. Like he's here to be a game player. He's not here to be daddy. Like, come on.
Yeah, exactly. He's not here to be your daddy. He's not here to be anybody's like little savior. No. Like I think they really, obviously they all really love Leon, but I think like similar with Tyler, when he was like, oh yeah, like Leon's my leader kind of vibe. It's like, no, I think he was struggling under the pressure a little bit of like feeling like he had to always do the admirable thing. And I think that's why he was offended when he was put in the death match, and with the like being kind of, I guess, being knocked back for like the opportunity to get a shield. It was a bit like, I don't know. I think he was just like, I'm just sick of trying to be the faithful.
Yeah, to play the game.
Yeah, and that's why obviously why. Yeah, whole thing. Yeah. But yeah, I with who we're left now. So now we've got Joe, Freddie, Jake, Leanne, Charlotte, Mina, Frankie, Alexander.
Frankie. Yeah.
Is that it?
I think that's it. I think there are 8 left.
8 left, yeah. So that I've counted 8.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's much more to say. Do we want to go to our pour one out for? Who are we pouring out for?
I think so.
Do we want to go through the 3 episodes we've recapped, or do we want to go through the remaining? Let's do both. Let's go with for the remaining and for the whole.
Okay, you start because I have no idea. Well, I know Fozia is an obvious one.
I've already chosen Fozia.
Yeah, I'm winning the Fozia this week, especially with Leon going. I was like, well, what the fuck was the point of him getting the card if he's just gone? Fozia would have been so entertaining this week. She would have been getting she would have been sucking everyone. She would have just it would have been so good. Like the TV, I feel like we were robbed of brilliant TV, and I'm still upset about it. And I'm bored with some of the people who are left. I'm sorry, I am.
I know.
Like, they're very boring.
They just don't have as many iconic moments. They just can't. They're not. They don't know how to be enthralling. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
It is dull.
So, in terms of the ones who are still left, so we're pouring out for ones that are still left too.
Yes.
I'm going to give it to Frankie for one moment, just because of the part where she was talking about her lack of confidence and her identity being wrapped up in her kids and like not feeling and being a single. I think she said she was a single mum. And
you have to be like completely self-sufficient, so it's really hard.
Because they had the little moment which we didn't talk about, which is it wasn't interesting in the end, but where they had their little dinner after the banishment thing.
Of course,
and they all gave their reasons for why they wanted the money, which I was only interested because I thought they were gonna give them a challenge, but they didn't. So
I was that was a bit of a lackluster moment for me. I think it was nice to get to know them all a bit more and also just hear from them. Like some of them do have very admirable reasons. I thought Alexander's reason was really sweet about his
I love that.
wanting to give it to the charity that helped his family with his brother who like his parents were carers for brother who'd had learning difficulties. But like I think, I mean, it would have been really evil if they'd given them like a murder in plain sight for that mission. It would have been funny to see though. Like, I mean, I wouldn't put it past them. But sorry.
We want to take the money. But anyway,
Yeah, but for Frankie
was endearing to me when she spoke about that in particular. And I felt like, I hope you feel more confidence in yourself and don't underestimate yourself as much as you are. She's fine. Like, I have no issue with Frankie. She's just there. But I thought that was really sweet. So I wanted to pour one out for her and all the single mums out there.
Yeah. That's a nice one. We have to remind ourselves how much the single mums are, and single parents.
Just single parents in general, let's say
are exactly. Go through an awful lot on their own. And the whole thing of like not having another person or people to depend on and rely on can fill you with a lot of self-doubt. So, but she's here and she's doing her thing on Traitors. So go
well
for
done
it.
To you. Yeah.
Well done to I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you?
I mean, as much as I like will moan about him, I think with Jake, I thought it was interesting when he was talking about how, because he has cerebral palsy and it's not that, like, it's one of those disabilities that people don't necessarily notice it in firstly, and how he, I thought it was interesting how I was speaking it. I think in some ways I found it difficult. I don't have a disability, so I can't speak for this. But he was saying like, oh, it means I'm like weaker. And I was like, oh, I don't know whether I would say it in that way. But it reminded me that people are on a journey when it comes to like, especially with the, sorry, stop something off my table, quote unquote, invisible disability. I can imagine it's quite a difficult thing to think through and have to deal and to have to navigate in the world. But I was proud of the show for allowing him to say that in his own words and also to like bring more awareness to like invisible disabilities, because we often go through life thinking that everyone should be able to do things or should be able to manage to do this certain thing. And I think if you're in that position where you want to just be able to do it, you do, and probably stretch yourself way beyond like what's comfortable. So I thought it was nice to shed a light on that, which was
Yeah, I think
nice.
that was awesome. Especially, obviously, as you said, like with a lot of these things, it's a journey. So you might not have the language yet because he said he was sort of at the beginning of like accepting his own disability and also being able to tell people that yeah, I'm disabled and I need help with XYZ sometimes or whatever. So I think it was like, as with any other sort of characteristic or identity, and any challenges that come with that, it's a learning process, even for the person who's experiencing it, about how to talk about it with other people. So yeah, I really enjoyed that moment too. I thought that was really powerful.
Oh, well, I think any predictions as we move into the final week? Looks like there's going to be more scary clowns, which I'm not that happy about.
Yeah, predictions. I think Charlotte's going to go for me. I think if Charlotte goes for Mina and Mina doesn't find out about the fact that she's doing it before the round table, she's fucked. So I hope she finds out before, and I think she'll be okay if she does find out, because then she can do her own little maneuvering and fuck over Charlotte.
Fingers crossed.
But we'll see.
Yeah, it would be a real shame if Charlotte manages to like skirt her way around, because 100% would not put it past her to try and sabotage Charlotte. But also, I would be fine if Mina. I don't mind if the traitors sabotage each other.
Yeah,
If
it's
anything, it's
actually
quite
fun. I'm not
fun.
like, yeah. I think
Mad
it's more
about
because
it.
Mina's worked hard, so I'm like, Charlotte, you haven't even fucking done
Yeah,
anything, so it's not fair. But
I
also,
know.
great game. So I think those are the two I'm most focused on. I don't care about any of the
Yeah.
rest.
I think in the final it's going to be Freddie, Joe, and Leanne. Those are my predictions for who's going to make it to the final.
Yeah, I think Freddie. Freddie. Yeah, Alexander will be thrown under the bus soon. Freddie, Joe, and I don't want Leanne to be there.
Oh, if I was in there, I would definitely suspect Leanne, just based on
because
her
it's her.
shadiness. But I think why she's not been banished yet.
I think it's time for them to turn on her. I want them to do Freddie, then Leanne, then Alexander. But I don't
Keep
think that will
Alexander in
happen.
longer, as long as possible.
I think Charlotte's can do her damnedest to get Mina back in the talks again, but we'll see, because it could fuck her over if she does too much of that.
Yeah, it could do. That would be fun. I feel like I don't know. She just her decision making faculties are just quite poor. So I just feel like she might do something like really. She's not calculated in the same way.
Well, we'll see. I suppose
we will see. But
just
anyway,
very quick mention. I watched a couple of episodes of the US Traitors.
Yes,
it's basically exactly the same, but I guess what's my main takeaway? They have the same challenges for some of the things as this season, which I thought, oh, you cheap bastards! I've seen these steps already.
Yeah, literally just check one group out and then like check the others in.
They did the exact same boat one as well, where they had someone to get out, and I was like, oh, lazy. But it was actually interesting. It was actually fun. I thought that them being celebrities would ruin it, because often they make celebrities play for charity, even though they get paid to be there. But they're actually letting them play for the money, which is fun. And it's been entertaining so far. Alan Cummings is playing a character. Claudia Winkleman does play a character, but she comes out of it and is like, "I'm Claudia. It's Claudia. I'm here. Remember? I'm playing, being silly." Whereas it seems Alan Cummings just is being a witch, like a witchy Scottish man. So I don't really know what's going on there. But I thought it was good, and I will, when I have nothing to watch, I will watch it. So yeah.
I'm glad you're enjoying it. I have seen loads of spoilers, so I kind of know what happens, which is really frustrating.
Yeah.
But I like that you're watching it, and I do, as you say, I like that they have to win the money because, yeah, Tom Sandoval's in there, and
You need
he
that money.
definitely needs the money. As
Oh,
do,
it's hard
I'm
to watch
sure,
as well.
Dorinda and a lot of the others, because I guess a lot of them are almost like jobbing reality stars. Like that's what they just go from one show to the other. So yeah, there's got to be a check at the end for them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But it would have been overkill doing both, so we're not going to be doing any of
No,
that.
we can massively suggest, and obviously, yeah, next week will be our last Traitors
Oh,
special,
so
and then we'll have other things for you,
we
I'm
will,
sure.
and we're going to continue as well. We've sort of been branching out and trying like doing video things and trying to be on TikTok and YouTube. I forgot what it was called for a sec.
Yeah.
And we're just doing that so that people have the opportunity to watch us and like be in different places. And we will continue to do that, but we will not do that every week for everything.
That's a wee bit much.
Yeah, it will be when we feel like it, basically. But subscribe and follow those channels as well. Watch
Yes.
out for when we do post stuff.
Thanks, guys. Well, thanks for listening again, and we love you.
Love you
And
lots.
have a good
Bye.
bye.
Bye.